On a cold November night in 2022, the quiet town of Moscow, Idaho was shattered by a crime so brutal, so unimaginable, that it sent shockwaves across America. 4 young college students, bright, full of dreams, and loved by many, were found brutally murdered inside their home near the University of Idaho campus. This is the story of the Idaho College Murders, and the man accused of committing them, Bryan Kohberger. Before we dive into the investigation and the suspect, we must first know who these young lives were. Kaylee Goncalves, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Zana Kernodle, 20, Ethan Chapin, 20. They were friends, roommates, classmates, ordinary students enjoying their youth, living the college experience. That night, they had spent time at parties, at local bars, and with friends. Nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. But by morning, their lives were cut short in the most horrifying way imaginable. It was the early hours of November 13th, 2022. At around 4 a.m., investigators believe a masked intruder entered the students' off-campus home. Armed with a large, fixed-blade knife, he attacked the sleeping students in their bedrooms. 2 of the roommates in the house survived. One of them claimed to have seen a tall, masked man dressed in black, silently leaving the home. When police arrived hours later, the scene was devastating. Blood-stained walls, signs of struggle, and 4 lives stolen in an instant. The murders sent the town of Moscow into fear and confusion. Who could do such a thing? Was the killer still out there? Were other students in danger? Parents pulled their children out of school. The campus went into lockdown. The media swarmed the small town, and the police were under enormous pressure to find answers. For weeks, the case seemed to go cold. Police released little information, fueling speculation and conspiracy theories. But behind the scenes, investigators were piecing together the puzzle. Surveillance cameras caught a white Hyundai Elantra near the crime scene. Phone records showed a mysterious number pinging around the victim's house multiple times before the murders. And most crucial of all, DNA. A single trace of DNA was found on the knife sheath left at the scene. When tested, it was a match to Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger was no stranger to crime and psychology. He was a 28-year-old PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, just across the state line from Moscow. He studied criminal behavior. He studied killers. And according to investigators, he had been watching and waiting. His car matched the description. His phone records placed him near the house multiple times, even in the weeks before the murders. And the DNA was undeniable. On December 30th, 2022, in a dramatic pre-dawn raid, police arrested Bryan Kohberger at his family's home in Pennsylvania. The news exploded across the country. How could a man so educated, so deeply involved in studying crime, become the very thing he studied? As Bryan was extradited back to Idaho to face charges, the nation waited for answers. Kohberger was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. In court, he stood calm, emotionless. He denied the charges. His lawyers began building a defense, questioning the DNA evidence and the reliability of witness accounts. The trial is not yet concluded, and the story is still unfolding. The Idaho Murders became one of the most talked-about true crime cases of the decade. News channels covered every angle. Social media erupted with theories. For the victims' families, it was agony. Living in the spotlight, waiting for justice, haunted by the loss of their loved ones. Why did Bryan Kohberger target these students? Was it random, or was there a hidden connection? To this day, many questions remain unanswered. But one thing is certain: the trial of Bryan Kohberger will go down in history as one of America's most chilling true crime cases. Kaylee, Madison, Zana, Ethan. 4 young lives taken far too soon. Their story is not just about tragedy, it is about remembering who they were, seeking justice, and never forgetting the lives behind the headlines. This is the Idaho College Murders.